We are officially to the part of the offseason now where a lot of the noise and the moves are done, and there is a much clearer vision of the roster going forward. But for the Dallas Cowboys, for America's team, there is still a lot to talk about in how to add the final pieces of the puzzle to this roster, and there are a few guys available that the Cowboys may be interested in, or there still is a trade or trades that could be made to shore up a few positions. Nick Chubb has been a big name everyone has talked about that still has not been given a chance. There's a lot of rumors about Stephon Gilmore swirling around. In this video, I want to talk about it all. But first, before I get into everything, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so let's start out with the Stephon Gilmore rumors. The Dallas Cowboys may seem like they're done expanding their cornerback roster, but don't be fooled by their silence. There's still one name that should be on their minds, and it's one that the Cowboys fans know well. The same Gilmore who started 17 games last season, the same player who showed up to Tyron Smith's retirement press conference with a dignity, maturity, and serenity that speaks volumes about how he is viewed on the team. He isn't signed anywhere else, and there's a reason for that. He's a fit in Dallas still. Right now he's not a part of the plan, but it seems clear that he remains the contingency. If Siobhan Revel is not ready by August, if Trevon Diggs' recovery from his ligament injury does not go well or as fast as planned, if rookie Kalen Carson needs more time to develop, it is very likely that Stephon Gilmore will be called upon. He's a reliable communicator, he will bring championship experience, he could probably be had for $5 million or less, maybe even much less than that, and besides, he's not coming in to be a cornerback one. He's coming in to stabilize everything that's left behind if the Cowboys need him. But even beyond the field, Gilmore's presence could serve a deeper purpose. Every young team needs a trusted mentor, the firm, experienced voice that can guide them through the tough times, missed assignments, and early doubts, an older brother figure who has seen the ups and downs and who is the same every day. So really, the Cowboys have very high hopes for their young cornerbacks, but youth needs guidance. And at the right time, Stephon Gilmore can come in and be an anchor behind the scenes, whether as a number 3 type of corner or simply the voice that helps the number 2 guy become the number 1 that the team needs him to be. So it will be interesting to follow this storyline over the next few days and weeks. Alright, moving on, let's talk about and be completely real about the Nick Chubb situation. I'm unfortunately a diehard Browns fan. It's been a really bad last 20 years, but Chubb was one of the bright spots in the darkness, or whatever you want to call it, but we all know what happened on a Monday night in week 2 in Pittsburgh a few years ago. His leg basically snapped. It was brutal and gruesome, you hated to see it, and it's honestly been so impressive that he recovered and got back on the field. It's a great story, but he's definitely a shell of himself. He doesn't get those big gains where he sheds blockers. He's more of like a 3 to 4 yard per carry guy now. But nonetheless, last season for the Browns, he literally was coming right off of his rehab, so he could perhaps put together a little bit of a second push with another offseason to rebuild strength. But at the end of the day, when you sustain an injury like Chubb did to the level of what it was, there's only so much you can do after. It is just the brutal part of this sport, but I mean, like on a cheaper minimum deal, I really think signing Chubb is a nothing to lose type of move. He really is just a great guy to have in your locker room that just shows up to work every day, doesn't complain, never causes any issues, and he kind of could be a vet who sets the example for the young guys of how to show up prepared and willing to put it all on the line day in and day out. And then on the actual football field, he still will be a solid player. Obviously, he's not going to be your RB1, but if you give him 5 to 8 carries a game, I think he could still carve himself out a nice little role. So if I'm the Cowboys, I would sign Chubb in a heartbeat. I still think he's better than like Miles Sanders or even Javonte Williams. Those guys are so inconsistent. I don't think they have much of a ceiling to offer at all. Anyways, I guess to get to more rumors, I think Stephon Gilmore is more realistic than this one, but Jalen Ramsey as of late is another guy that has been thrown around by some Cowboys trade rumors, according to like the channels I've watched and the news outlets that I read, and the Dolphins have been quote unquote trying to deal him away, according to a few sources from ESPN, but here's my problem with these reports. The math doesn't add up. The money doesn't work. The Cowboys actually did make moves this offseason. They got George Pickens, they got Joe Milton, they went big in the draft. I just don't think Jalen Ramsey is realistic right now, but obviously, hypothetically, he's a player you would love to have. His contract is just too big for being north of 30. Now, in terms of one of the mistakes that the Cowboys may have made over this offseason, some people think, including myself, that not re-signing cornerback Jordan Lewis was the wrong move. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were willing to pay more in what ended up being a bidding war. Obviously, they needed a corner badly before drafting Travis Hunter. He's one of the best nickel corners in the league, and he definitely would have made the secondary better. He's a big void to fill. But I really overall just feel like health is the biggest factor of this Cowboys defense. It is the thing that makes people feel nervous about this group heading into this upcoming season. There's a lot of unanswered questions. Obviously, there is potential, and the Cowboys have drawn out solutions, but seeing the questions get answered on the field on Sundays is a whole nother animal. But let's move on from that. Let's move on from all the rumors and now talk a bit about what the Dallas Cowboys actually have on paper and what is going on with the team right now. So let's talk about Dak Prescott, because he still is the franchise QB, believe it or not, and this team's success lies on his shoulders. He is obviously coming back from injury, and he's had his struggles, but we all know he is more than capable of putting up top 5 production in the NFL, and now with the George Pickens trade, he has the skill position players around him to get really creative. But some polls have ranked Dak super low compared to where most people think he should be at. Like I said, I think he is capable of being a top 5 quarterback in the league, but the media has every right to keep him out of the top 10 and even top 15 until he comes back and proves that he can lead the Cowboys to another playoff appearance, until he proves that he can put up over 4,000 yards again. And the big thing that everyone wants to see is less turnovers and more ball security. And it's going to be super fun in 2025 to see what Dak and new first-year head coach Brian Schottenheimer can do together. I'll admit, the whole Schottenheimer thing does kind of seem like a bit of a honeymoon phase for a lot of Dallas fans right now, but it is a new breath of fresh air, sort of like a new life, because it was obvious that McCarthy was not going to work, whether it was his fault or not. He had tons of chances and plenty of opportunity. Dak Prescott recently himself made some comments about Brian that have a lot of people excited. Here's what he said.
Jason Garrett talked about the right kind of guy and having captains. So this talk of chemistry and culture has been around here. You guys have said you've had good culture and you've had good brotherhood. Why would it be different this year? Why you said that's going to help us win? Why would it be different this year than in past years?
Yeah, I mean, I think one, the approach of how we're building it. I think a lot of times may in the past, I've said it and I've maybe just been talking, and not just talking or naive in a sense of talking about how great just the offenses was, right? And not necessarily the team, and not necessarily offense connecting with defense, connecting with special teams. So I believe that Schotty's doing it the right way from the top down of take the offense and defense away from it, take the positions away from it, take the coach and player aspect away from it, and let's connect. And you're talking to one of the most optimistic people I think you'll find. I've seen it the way that it's going. I see the way that people are buying into it, and it's hard for me to think anything different.
So yeah, it's an exciting time in Dallas right now. Obviously, there is a lot of work to do, and I don't want to be that this is their year type of guy, because the Cowboys in reality have a long, long way to go, and people say that every single year. But getting Pickens was huge. Getting a backup QB in Joe Milton was helpful. There's a new head coach. Jerry Jones finally shook things up. He built up in the trenches even more in the draft. So there are real reasons to be optimistic right now, and I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think about some of the trade rumors in the comments below, and what else you would like to see the Dallas Cowboys do. That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.